This is the Tom Leykis Show.
Women love to say what pieces of shit men are.
Now, from the New Normal Studios in Burbank.
Shut your fucking yap.
Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. From the New Normal Studios in Burbank, this is where you hear us live. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 24/7 at tom.show. You can hear us on our free app. Get it at the App Store. Get it at Google Play. Or get it at tomeverywhere.com. That's tomeverywhere.com. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again. It's you. It's me. And there are times I walk into this studio and I light up like a Christmas tree. There's times I see something I go, that is so great. A listener named Fabian, he has posted on our Facebook page, and here is what he writes. Hello, Tom. Just to let you know, I'm glad I dodged a major bullet with some chick I was involved with last year. Some other sucker got her pregnant, and they are having a baby in June. While I was with her, I had always used protection, and I always stood up to her. Now I am a free and happy man dating. How great is that? Now, of course, my critique of what Fabian has to say here is that this was clearly a relationship or a girlfriend, and you were in danger. You took a real risk, so you escaped scot-free. But my recommendation to him would be, don't do that again. No girlfriends. No wives, no girlfriends. No wives, no girlfriends, no baby mamas. You know what? Of all the things I preach on this program, I think those three are the three you want to avoid. That thought should stay with you every day. Whether you hear the show or not, whether I'm doing the show or not. Don't panic, Dean. I'm not announcing my imminent death. I'm just saying, Thank you. If I were hit by a bus, or if I were on the interstate in Atlanta and ran into the flames or whatever. This will be true whether I'm here or not. No wives, no girlfriends, no baby mamas. Keep it simple. And it is just that simple. You may know that as a child, and by the way, this is when you're a child, not necessarily a good thing. It's a great thing when you're an adult. When you're a kid, it means you get your head bashed in. But as a kid, I had a strange aptitude for numbers. I was fascinated with numbers, and I'm not just talking about adding and subtracting or multiplying. I had such a deep, visceral fascination with numbers. I couldn't wait until my dad pulled his Rambler American. That's what he drove. He drove a 1962 Rambler American. I couldn't wait till he drove his Rambler American into the gas station so I could watch the numbers on the gas pump. That, and I know it's weird, and I know you're having a hard time relating to it, got it. But that is, I was born with this, just an obsession with numbers. There was nothing I could do about it. It's there all the time. And one time as a child, and I've told this story, but I was so fascinated with numbers, I saw my first digital alarm clock when I was about 5 years old. My grandmother had it. And this was the oldest kind of digital alarm clock there was. It didn't have the leaves. They call them leaves, when, 8 o'clock turns to 8:01, turns to 8:02. It had 4 wheels inside for the 4 digits you could have as a time, so you had to have 4 digits so you could be 10 o'clock or above, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So the first wheel was blank and it had a 1. That's all it had on that wheel. And the second, third, and fourth wheels all had numbers 0 through 9. And they were wheels, and the numbers were printed on 9 edges or 10 edges of a wheel that were inside this clock. And when I was just about to head into kindergarten, I found this fascinating, riveting, and I wanted to know, now think like a 5-year-old, please. I wanted to know how this worked. How does this work? Where are these numbers coming from? What is behind the numbers? I had to know. So, learning from my father's knowledge of tools, I didn't have a screwdriver or a chisel. So to open up the plasticine case that the alarm clock was contained with, or within, I just used my father's method of prying things open. I used a butter knife out of the kitchen drawer, and I pried that motherfucker open so I could see all the numbers. I didn't just want to see the ones I was being shown. I wanted to see all the numbers. So I successfully pried that motherfucker open, and I proceeded to reach in and play with the numbers, not realizing what I was in for because this thing was plugged into the wall. It was operational. And the second I touched my finger inside, a bolt of blue came out of the clock, and literally the force from that shock knocked me back. I shot back into the wall. And that was one of the ways I learned not to do things like that, but I could have been dead, all right? But that's how much I wanted to know about numbers. I literally broke an alarm clock wide open to get a look inside. And so as a child, I had this fixation on numbers, how they work, how multiplication works, the connection between multiplication and wealth, multiplication and going into debt or bankruptcy. I could see that the compounding of finance charges at MasterCharge card that my father had, now known as MasterCard. Look that up, by the way. MasterCard used to be called MasterCharge. And at 12 years old, I looked at his bill and I could see that with the compounding of annual percentage rate, the annual finance charges, that he was going to go broke. And I could see it. And early on, I could see that having kids, having wives, girlfriends, and baby mamas was an expense. If you could imagine a budget, like the president has a budget every year, done on a spreadsheet, a very large spreadsheet. And the budget has line items on it, defense, environment, well, not anymore, right? Highway, building, whatever. There are items on the budget. And having a baby is a budget buster, as Ronald Reagan used to call it, budget buster. Nobody wants to think of a baby as an expense or an imposition. So the result is they get caught paying for this thing that they didn't plan for in their budgets. And that is why so many people who have multiple children are broker than I am. That's a fact. Having a baby is an expense. Having a girlfriend is an expense. We all know about how much a wife costs because we've all known people who've gone through divorces and gotten royally fucked. We all know. And baby mamas, that's off the charts bad, because not only are you paying for a quarter century, but that chick who you've been trying to get away from manages to stay in your life, and you're in it up to your neck for a quarter century. She's always going to be there. Yikes. So while I'm thrilled that Fabian, who wrote this post on our Facebook page, I am thrilled that he got away with something. I want to remind you, Fabian, wherever you might be, that you got lucky, buddy. And if your ex got with a new guy and had a baby right away, you know, you were risking that. You were one broken condom away from being enslaved to that broad for the rest of your life. Bottom line. You know, I keep trying to tell you guys that the best way to go is to have sex and stop worrying about having love. Love is expensive. You know, the women who love you, they love you when you're doing well. How many of them stay with you through hard times? Yeah, they did that 50 or 100 years ago, but what about now? Chicks bail on you. And I'm not saying guys are any better. I'm just simply saying, as from a guy point of view, now that you essentially have to pay women to stay with you, and I don't mean me, I mean everybody. You can have sex with people and it doesn't cost. When they move into your place, you need more space. You need more dresser drawers. You need more space in the kitchen. Sometimes you move someplace bigger to accommodate their little crumb crunchers and ankle biters from previous relationships. And you're paying for it. When your girl wants to take the kids to the movies and wants you to go along, she doesn't want you to go along because she wants you to see Moana. She wants you to go along so you will pay for the tickets and the popcorn and the candy and the soda. That's why she wants you to go along. That goes for the theme parks too, boys. She doesn't really care if you ride a roller coaster at Magic Mountain. She doesn't really care if you want to see the Harry Potter exhibit at Universal Studios. She doesn't care. It's something like $150 for mom and $150 for kid number one and $150 for kid number two. Plus the $150 for you, and you had no interest in going in the first place. So there you are, you're on the hook for $600. You know, when your girl invites you to go do those things, she's just getting you to pay. Do you understand? Why would you want to pay? You know what I've told any woman I ever knew when I dated single moms? Here's what I would say. You guys have a good time. I'll meet you later on. I would not let myself get talked into it, because there was the one time I got talked into it at Disneyland. Oh, come on, we're going to be here at Disneyland. Come on. The kids want to see you. Come on. So I went. I met them all at the front gate. Why couldn't I just buy my ticket and meet them inside? Because they needed me to pay. So when I arrived, my girl had 2 kids, and she brought her best friend and her best friend's kid. And she just expected me to whip out the card, whip out the plastic, and pay for everybody. And when I said, okay, I got my ticket, where are your tickets? She's like, well, aren't you paying? Aren't you paying? Is what she said. No. I don't even know who this chick is or her kid. And no, I'm not paying. Do you know what it costs to go to Disneyland now? Didn't we figure it out? It's like $150 a person now. And what they'll do is they'll tell you what, for an extra $1, you can have the entire year free. Yeah, great. How many times am I going to Disneyland this year? Huh? Seriously. Not happening. Wives, girlfriends, and baby mamas, you don't need them in your life, do you? I'm not saying you don't need to get laid. Now, I'm not saying you don't need to have fun. I'm saying, why do you need formal commitments of any kind to anyone? Formal commitments cost money. That means there's somehow some contractual agreement between the parties that the wealth is going to shift from you to her and any kids she has, whether or not they're your kids. Now, I want you to answer this question. Do we need the following? It's three of them. Do we need the three? Wives, girlfriends, or baby mamas? Do we need them? I mean, one of the keys to my success and the most wealth I've ever attained is when I was not in a committed relationship. The most wealth I ever obtained was when I was not paying for someone to sit home and watch TV all day. Or for someone who was an alcoholic and was secretly drinking vodka during the day and hiding the bottles at the back of the kitchen cabinets. Guess what? I would have been a lot better off had I never invited her into my home. I had the chick I dated one time, now deceased, so I can freely talk about it. She had a sister with Down syndrome. And the sister lived with her. And she wanted to move into my home. Not only move into my home, she was measuring for curtains and furniture before I ever expressed any interest in that, and I never did. She was letting me know that, and taking my temperature. You know, we're a package. You know, if I move in, you know, my sister moves in. No. I don't want that responsibility. No. Why would I want that? You know, it's bad enough when I've been with chicks who have cats and dogs and you're just looking at the clock waiting for them to die. Like, how many more years of this? You know, and by the way, many of the girls who date you, they own pets. And then when the pet has the inevitable emergency, a hairball, they were overbred, so they need surgery on all four joints, all four knees, things like that. They want you to pay for that shit. That's what they want. This is why you want them living in their own place. Stay there with the dog with the surgery and the kitty cats, the hairballs. Keep that all at your apartment. Your ankle biters, your crumb crunchers. You just keep them all over there. Because you come into my place is just your way of saying, now I've got you. Now I'm going to take what you have. Wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, do we need them? What do we need them for? I can't tell you how much better off I am from not having been married all these years. The bottles of premium wine that have come in, the 20-acre ranch I bought, the fact that I continue to own all my real estate, my cars, the fact that I own all of my IRAs, all of my 401ks, I have 100% ownership. There is nobody who is entitled to any of that. So you live your life. You've got friends. You've got experiences. You've got moments. For one, I've got my big Thanksgiving event every year. I've got my Super Bowl party every year. I have people over just on a regular basis to taste wine or do whatever. And that's because I don't hand the money over to other men's kids. Or my kids, for that matter. You know, and when I see what American kids are like in the 21st century, why would I want to have any of them? Entitled, you know, don't listen to a word you say, don't want to have dinner with you, don't want to do anything with you. And many times they drift off. After you grow up, go off and do their own thing, and there they are. Every once in a while they call you to tell you they need money. Forget it. I have no interest in that. None. Wives, girlfriends, and baby mamas. Do we need them? Why do you need them? I don't. Do you? 901-3000-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's a simple question, and everybody has a response to this. Everybody has a feeling about this, so there's no excuse not to have 10 lit phone lines here. Already have some lit, but I'd like to find out from you. Do you need wives, girlfriends, or baby mamas? Why do you need children for that matter? The only reason people have children is because of ego reasons. We're so pretty. We would have such pretty kids. Fuck you. We're so smart. Can you imagine what a smart kid we'd have? Holy fuck. Don't you know anything about genetics? Sometimes things skip a generation, for God's sake. You'd have some drooling moron as a kid.
Yes.
And many. You had many too.
Yes.
What do you need kids for? I'd bet that more than half of all the kids ever born were born without the knowledge of the man who was the sperm donor. I do believe that. So many guys get suckered into having kids or nagged or dragged into it. Why do we feel obligated to cooperate? Now, I am going to say this. Recent studies have shown, and we've talked about these, and we've posted some of them online. Recent studies have shown that marriage has fallen off a cliff with millennials. Millennials are not getting married to the numbers of previous generations. They're not. The number of kids being produced, especially by Caucasian kids, that number is going down too. I don't think I'm imagining this. In fact, we've been at the forefront of this now for 20 years or more. I have always talked about being child-free, what the advantages are. But can't you see that girlfriends, wives, baby mamas, and children specifically, they are all expenses that most of us can't afford or don't want to afford. Do you want to work until you're 80 years old? Do you want to live on Social Security or cat food? I don't. Girlfriends, wives, and baby mamas, do we need them? 901-3000-TOM, that's our number. 901-3000-TOM. Call me right now. Do we need them? Wives, girlfriends, and baby mamas, not to mention children. A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. Do we need to be having these things in our lives? 901-3000-TOM. Call me now because we have an opening on the board for you at 901-3000-866.
The entire Tom Leykis experience in your pants. Get the app now. 901-3000-TOM. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. From the New Normal Studios in Burbank, it's you and me here at 901-3000-TOM. 901-3000-TOM, that's the telephone number here, 901-3000-866. Wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, do we need them? Tell me. Tell me why. 901-3000-866. Here's Jason in Cloverdale, California. Jason, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Well, hello, Jason.
Oh, Tom, let me tell you. I've had the same baby mama. Well, let's back up here. She was already a baby mama for somebody else. It's a fucking douchebag. He doesn't even pay child support. That's another headache. But, yeah, I've been with her since she was...
By the way, why are you being critical of that guy? Because you know who chose to have a baby with him.
Hey, well, I got to be honest, man. Like, I'd say the reason why we do need him is because, fuck, she's a fucking nymphomaniac. She fucking loves sex all the time. What do I tell you?
Right.
So, I mean...
But she also likes having kids, which are costly to you.
She doesn't like having kids. I don't want to say they're both accidents, but... She doesn't like having kids.
Well,
she fucking hates having kids.
If she hated having kids, she would prevent it.
Well, Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, I'm getting older, and I kind of got like, it's like more or less like my mom kind of thing. I want to have a kid for my grandparents kind of thing, like my mom was always pressuring me about having kids.
Is your mom still
Like,
alive?
Oh yeah. My parents are, they're golden. They've been together like 40 years. Some
All right.
shit. I don't know.
No, my parents were together for 40 years exactly. So, that was why I got married the times I did. But I realized that, it ain't like it used to be. And the women out there aren't like they used to be. And it doesn't make sense to get married anymore for a man.
Yeah, we just go back and forth on this marriage. You want a big fight in the family? Bring up the marriage word. She claims she won't be a bitch anymore if I fucking actually married her. She says she's only a bitch because we never got married. After all
why do
these
you
years.
stay with a bitch?
Honestly, we separated for like 1 year. Like we recently got back together. Like 8 months ago. We went our separate ways. We got separate apartments, stuff like that. But then I don't know. It's the kid thing. It's like it just lures you back into like you see your kids and they make you feel guilty.
You just said these kids were accidents, that's a total lie. Your girl doesn't use birth control. That's why you had 2 kids.
No, I don't know if they're accidents. It sounds like an asshole, but they just weren't planned, Mine.
Well, yeah. Once you have sex without a
older.
condom, and she has sex without using any birth control, it is planned. The plan was made by you.
Well, let's go a little further. By the way, we've never been on birth control. We've never used condoms.
So it was planned, wasn't it? I mean, you're a bright guy. You know what happens when you have sex without birth control. You have babies.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said you know what happens when you have sex without birth control. You have babies. How can you say that they were accidents? They weren't accidents.
Well, when I was younger, I was like 13. The doctor said I have slim chance of having kids. So
right, but then you had one, and so you must have known at that point the doctor was wrong, right?
Yeah, but I made it all the way through college. I made it through high school, everything.
That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. You know what? If I fire a gun and I fire 100 rounds, the first 99 rounds might hit windows or cars or buildings across the street. But at some point, I'm going to hit somebody.
That's understandable. Yeah.
So the fact that it hadn't happened yet didn't mean it would not happen. And then, okay, so then it did happen. What made you think it wouldn't happen again?
Well, it hasn't happened again with her. We haven't had a second kid together. She just happened to have a kid, before me.
So you're taking care of another guy's kid.
Yeah, but that guy's never in the picture. He's a holiday dad, so.
That's not the point. It shouldn't be your problem. It's not your kid.
Hey, it's not my problem, really. She pays. Yes, I do the fathering thing. Don't get me wrong, but like the child support, that kind of stuff. She really takes care of it. I got a girl that makes more than I do, and you said that girls just leave you. My girl makes $60,000, and on paper, and I make on paper last year. Oh my God, you don't even believe this. On paper last year, I made less than $6,000, and she stayed with me.
What do you mean by on paper? You mean you were taking money under the table from somebody?
Well, essentially, I bartend on the side, so that's where most of my money comes from, and I get paid under the table. So.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm lucky that she's...
Do you own a house?
Take me back. We don't own. We rent.
You rent, and you'll always be renting because you will always be broke.
I mean, who can? It's really expensive. The fucking house I live in is $650,000 house. Look it up.
Right?
I mean, shit.
Guess what? If you didn't have a baby mama and you didn't have a kid, you could afford a house.
Maybe not in this area, but maybe in fucking bumfuck Fresno or something, Stockton or something. But not around here.
What is your limit? Your IQ is low. What is your limit to making money?
Why don't I make money on paper? What are you saying?
Why do you make money anywhere? Why do you have to cheat on your taxes to make money? Because you're...
I don't cheat on my taxes. I have a day job. I'm actually working
Do you
right
report
now.
all your bartender income? No, you don't. That's why it's quote unquote on paper. It's really not on paper. It's under the table is where it is, right?
Yeah, but that's only one night a week.
I don't care
So,
what
I mean,
it is. You know, buddy, I can I tell you something honestly? I have more money than you do, and a lot of people. I don't cheat on my taxes because I don't have to.
Well, I don't necessarily. I claim. I had like 5 W-2s, 6 W-2s. I claim everything that.
So
the
why you
business give
paid?
me.
Why you paid under the table?
That's just one night a week. That like it's a really busy bar, and it's just one night a week that I get paid on the table.
But you get a W-2 at the end of the
lifeline.
year. You get a W-2 at the end of the year.
Not from that place, but from the other jobs I have.
All
yes.
right, but the point I'm making is, all you have to do is cheat on one employer. You cheat on your taxes by taking money one day a week. That's all you have to do to go to prison. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I guess so. It's fuck. You know, what do you want me to do? I mean,
I'm not telling you what to
yeah.
do. I'm saying the fact that you do that indicates that you are financially strained.
Yeah. Well, hey, the point of this call was I still have a baby mama, and my baby mama pretty much she calls me her third child. She takes care of me. So why would I want to leave her? You said, do you need them?
Because
No, I
if
don't.
you left her, it would be cheaper for you.
It wouldn't be. We were separated for a year, and it wasn't cheaper. Actually.
What'd you do
Well, I
during
was
that
paying a
year?
lot
Where
more.
did you live?
I had to get my own place, so my own apartment, and my fucking apartment was $1,600 a month just for a studio apartment. Wasn't worth it.
Right.
Plus my bills.
Well, of course, if you didn't have a kid, you could move anywhere in the country where housing prices are cheaper, apartments are cheaper. You could have done that. I mean,
yes,
there
that's
you
true.
are. Yeah, there you are in that 707 area code. I know it well. And if I were scrounging for money and having to work one night a week as a bartender and take the money under the table, that might not be where I'd live.
I've been here all my life, so
Understood.
pretty much, so I don't want to live anywhere else. This
But
place
you
is
do
nice
understand
not
what's
to
happened
leave.
to real estate prices in your area
Yeah.
during your
Skyrocket.
lifetime, right?
Oh yeah. My
So
little
you
farm
have,
town of Hillsburg is blown up.
yeah, I believe me. I just spent a vacation in Healdsburg about a year and a half ago. I know it well. What's that great little bakery down by the square in Healdsburg? You know,
Oh yeah.
you know
yeah,
the
yeah,
one?
yeah. Yes, of course. Fucking top of my head, I
It's
don't know it.
fantastic.
Yeah. Cousteau.
yeah, you can go in there and you can have a cup of coffee and a pastry in there, or
Yeah.
you can take it home.
Called Cousteau.
One of the best little bakeries I've ever been to.
Awesome.
I love Healdsburg.
Yeah.
Love it. But I also know that the first time I went to Healdsburg in the 90s, you could get a house there cheap.
Oh yeah. I mean, I graduated in '96 from Hillsburg, so I
Yeah,
know.
so it was nothing like Napa. It was like the alternative.
No.
It was the anti-Napa. And now it's becoming Napa North.
Oh, it is.
Right. So, if you're not planning on making like a decent living, like what your girl makes
I
or
am.
above,
I am. I'm actually trying to get out of bartending. I'm trying to get, I'm trying to do something else, but
right? What are you trying to do?
I keep on going back to it. Well, right now, as I'm talking, I'm doing like beer sales,
Okay.
So, but it just doesn't pay nothing compared to like bartending. You make X amount of money, and then you work 85 hours doing beer sales. You make dick.
Right.
I make like a quarter of what I make bartending. Stupid.
Right. Now, did you graduate high school?
Yes.
How about college?
I graduated junior college, and then I went to I got a 4-year university in the South. I literally 2 semesters away from graduating college.
Why don't you finish
That's the
college?
story of my life.
Why don't you finish college?
Honestly, I just started bartending when I was in college, and the money was just I got suckered in.
But wouldn't you be better off having a college degree? What were you majoring in?
You sound just like her. Criminal justice was my major.
And what were you planning on being when you grew up?
Oh, fucking something big. I don't know. My mentality then was like,
Why did you give up on
Yeah,
yourself?
shit,
Because
I
you
don't
were
know.
getting fucked and sucked? I mean, is it one of those where you were just
it is.
you
It's
couldn't get out
sad.
of bed
It
in the
is.
morning,
Story of
and
my
so
life.
so you had to stop going to school because there was a lot of fucking and sucking that you had to do.
No, you know,
Or have
honestly,
done.
I came back to go to school here when I was in the South. So I played baseball, and I just went to college basically for girls and baseball and shit. But when the baseball ended, I started bartending, and I got fucking sucked and sucked into it.
Yeah. So you essentially for fucking and sucking, you gave up your future.
I put it on hold, and it's been on hold for a story of my life. But I've had some good times. Just finances.
Then you
financially,
accidentally had a kid by not using birth control. It was an accident.
Well, I'm telling you, my mom kind of pressured me a lot. So
Yeah.
kind of don't want to blame my mom for everything, but just, man, my mom really made it hard on when the fuck are you having kids.
Yeah.
She hasn't pressured the marriage thing though, because she doesn't want me to marry her. She, if my mom knew the DTV, dump that bitch. Let me tell you.
So
she'd
your
say
mom
that
doesn't
every
like her
fucking day.
either.
My mom and dad. If I marry her, they're gonna die. They'll die tomorrow. Like they tell me, do not marry this bitch.
Right. Well, I couldn't agree with you with your mom more than that, but seriously, are you still having sex without any birth control? Yes.
Yeah, it hasn't changed. But
What makes you think it
honestly,
won't
like,
happen again?
One time.
What makes you think it won't happen
It's
again?
the only time in my whole life.
I don't
that
care.
I got a girl pregnant.
I don't care. One of my best friends in the whole world, I'm going to tell you about him, okay? This guy was once a producer of the Tom Leykis show many years ago, back in the 80s. And he was married, and he was told that he had a low sperm count and that he would never have kids. And so by the time I got to know this guy in the late 80s, he and his wife were deadheads. And rather than having a kid and having the obligations and responsibilities that go with that, they would be on the road every weekend. They'd be going to someplace the Grateful Dead were playing. That's what they did. And we had a conversation about this, and they said, we've come to terms with it. We're good with it. We have a great life. We're enjoying ourselves. Whatever sadness there was, we got over it, and life is great. And my friend told me he didn't know if he'd ever want to change it. He just liked it the way it was. And that all went on until one day he found out his wife was pregnant after they were married like 20 years. You understand?
I do.
So now suddenly,
I know that she would get an abortion if that shit were to ever happen.
how do you know that? She already had a kid with you, and she had a kid with another guy too.
Well, the other guy and her were engaged, and she thought they were going to get married, and he ran away to Vegas and got a job and never came back for her. So
Yeah, but you
got
understand?
fucked on that one. But
Yeah, but again, come on. You know what? You don't have a kid before you get married. If you're going to get married, you wait 5 years and see if the thing takes.
well, I agree. We were engaged. Don't get me wrong. We just I needed like one of those books for dummies on how to get married, and never did, and never got off the pot. And that conversation
Well,
is real,
that's a good instinct.
real fucked.
That's a good instinct. Not getting married.
I just tell her every day. Every time we talk about it, I just don't know how to get married. I'm sorry.
Right. And so now you're fighting with her about this. Look, I know things are worse than you're telling me. Okay, you told me she's a bitch. You told me she nagged you about getting married, nagged you about going back to school. You can't stand it anymore, but you stay there anyway, right?
I do. We do stay. We do fight. You're right. And I don't. Those conversations are hard. But at the end of the day, I look at it like, fuck. She's a good girl. She takes care of me. I mean, why the fuck would I leave?
You would leave because you don't want to be nagged. Your quality of life has value.
Yeah, I live in a nice
You know what? With many
fucking
women
house.
I've been with, I got totally sick of being told what was wrong with me. I got tired of it.
Oh, let me tell you this. She doesn't let me have any guys' nights ever because she says
Doesn't
I
let
bartend.
you. You're the boss, buddy. You're not even married.
No. She says because I bartend, that is me going out. That is my fucking guys' night.
But why are you? Why do you puss out
and
and do what she's? Why do you puss out and do what she says?
I just save the agony, save the fight.
That's my point. You're a prisoner.
Yeah, kind of, but I'm okay
Not
with
kind
it.
of.
I get taken care of like no other, Tom. Let me tell you. You were talking
But
about
you've gotta have friends.
Guess what? Who's
There's an argument I've had with many women who don't like it when I go out. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you going to be with? What time are you getting back? I don't want to hear that in my life ever. You know what? If the alternative is I have to make myself a sandwich, I'd rather make myself a sandwich than to be bossed around all the time.
I tell her, if we didn't have kids, we'd be long gone. Oh my God! You want that's another fight. That'll stir the pot. She don't like hearing that. I didn't make a kid with you, I'd be gone. And that's the truth. We didn't have kids, but plus we have kids. We're trying to work it out, and there's good days.
By the way, it's never going to work out.
It's worked out for like 10 years.
No, it hasn't, because for 10 years you have been nagged and bullied. You've been critiqued and criticized. You've been told how everything you do is wrong and everything you say is wrong. I know it. I can hear it.
Man, I told my mom yesterday I've never been with a bigger bitch. I've never told my mom that kind of shit. But
that's my point. Well, it's lasted for 10 years.
I just don't know what to do,
No,
Tom.
you know what's lasted for
do.
10 years? You've been 10 years with a bitch.
I just don't know what to do. I feel like I'm stuck. I tell her I'm stuck.
But you're not
That's
stuck.
the way
You're
it is.
not
I'm
married. You are so not stuck.
Yeah, but I don't want to go that child support alimony court bullshit. I don't want to.
Well, first of all, there is no alimony. You're not married. A. B.
True.
And that's a great reason to never get married. Okay. And
my buddy that's married tells me that same thing every day. Don't do it, man. I've been married. He fucking hates his wife.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't fucking get suckered in.
Right.
And I
mean,
feel like
do you
I'm gonna get
realize
suckered in
you
eventually.
could leave her, sue for custody, and your argument could be, I have more time to be with the kid.
I don't know, man. It's just when you see your kids the way they look at you and shit. My parents were always married. I just didn't want to go that route.
Yeah, but you already broke up with this chick for a year, and
Yeah,
she's a
we're trying
bitch.
to
So
go
let me
separate ways.
understand this. You'd rather stay with a bitch
Yes.
than to leave.
It's sad. It's sad. Yeah.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, when we're doing fun stuff, guess what? 99% of the time, especially lately, because I've been looking like for a better job and shit, she's been paying. So it's been great. I feel kind of
So
bad.
she
but at the
also
same time-
withholds money from you because she says you're not trying hard enough to get a better job?
No, she doesn't. No.
You just said that. You said
No, I think she-
now that you've been looking for a job, she pays for everything.
Yeah. That's
What does
said,
that mean?
So,
If you
like we
weren't
go out
looking
to
for a
dinner.
job, what would she do then?
Well, I have a day job right now. I'm just always
She
looking
doesn't
for a better
approve
job.
of it, but she
No,
doesn't approve of it.
No, she does not approve of it. She
Right.
doesn't pay enough.
Right. So, in other words, you said to me once you were looking for a job, she started paying for everything.
No, she's always been that girl that pays, and she's always made good money. She's
So,
got
what
a damn
does
good
your
job.
looking for a job have to do with it?
Just because she wants us to make, at least $100,000 as a family, as an income.
Right.
Right. So,
But you have
unrealistic?
you have no ambition. You have no
I
interest.
do.
You have no
I
interest.
do.
No,
I'm just
you really
stubborn.
don't.
I'm where I want to
You'd
work.
like to win the lottery. How old are you?
I'm 38.
38. What are you going to be when you grow up, son?
That's the thing. See, I waited until I was like 30, 31-ish before I decided I'm either going to have a kid or I'm not. And I decided, my mom kind of guilt tripped me a little bit, decided to have the kid.
Boy.
But I waited a long fucking time before I had the kid. Come on. I listened to your show before we were on the radio. I just found you on the fucking phone app, like, I don't know, about a month ago. I'm fucking every goddamn day glued to it now. I used to have a fucking sticker when I was younger in college that said Student of Blackness 101. I had a fucking kid on his fucking knees with a book praying and the fucking sticker over
you
it.
not only dropped out of college, you clearly dropped out of Lycus 101.
I could preach like it's 101 all goddamn day. You're right. I fucked up on that part. You're right about that. But, hey, pussy talks. What can I say? At the end of the day, it just talked, and she was a good one.
She's not a good one. She's a bitch. You told me.
She is, but come on, she's still good.
What?
You can be a bitch and still be good.
Why is that good?
I don't know. Just the way,
She's a good bitch. She's a great
yes,
bitch.
She is. She cooks. She's a really good cook. She cleans. She's really clean. Shit. So she's all about she literally thinks she's like Kim Kardashian, that kind of bitch. So that shit's annoying. But
yeah, Kim makes $60,000 a year.
I know, right? No, but that's her like her idol and shit.
But isn't that what I always say? That, for example, that Kim Kardashian is the idol of women, and that's why today's women are scandalous skanks. Have you heard me say that?
I feel that, but she's not. I think in the past. Don't get me wrong, Tom. I've called her many bad names in the past. Before me, she was a whore. Don't get me wrong. I know she was, but I don't know if people change, but she's like, I've never once cheated on you, and you're the first dude I've ever cheated on. This is fucking weird. It is weird, because I know she was a whore in the past. I don't know, man.
And you don't know that she's not now.
Oh, I do. She's home every goddamn night.
But she's at work every goddamn day, and she's at lunch with somebody, and she has happy hour with the girls once in a while.
She leave her office at lunch, so maybe I'm oblivious. But
maybe.
No, 'cause when we got back together, she's the one that like begged me back. She caught me with the booty call. I took a booty call to a Giants game, and I fucking went on the ferry. And of course, one of her friends were on the goddamn ferry, and they fucking took pictures of us and then sent it to her. And that's all she wrote.
Was that during this period of time that you've been with her since you broke up for a year?
No, that was just this last year, this last Giants season. That's when it was boom. It was game over.
Well, I love going to the ball game as much as anybody, as you know. But can I tell you something? If you're so happy over there, why would you be having a side bitch?
I didn't have a side bitch. This is when we were broken up. This is when I lived in the apartment.
I asked you if that happened in the time since you spent a year apart.
It did. It happened, and then she broke it up, and then that's when we got back together. And ever since we've been back together.
I see what you're saying. Now I understand. So it was her jealousy.
She broke that up.
It was her jealousy that got you back together.
Exactly. It was her jealousy. She turned into a crazy fucking bitch.
And so you said, God, that's what I want. Some crazy bitch in my life. Is that what you said?
Not what I said, actually, but it was crazy. It was just a hard time. It was a hard time.
Jason, let me ask you a question. Can you hang on? Because I think some people want to talk to you here. You want to hang on? All right.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. All right. That's Jason, everybody. What do you have to say to Jason? I'll bet you've got something to say to Jason, whether you approve or not. All right, you've heard Jason. Now call me and tell me what you think. 901-3000-TOM. 901-3000-TOM. That's the number. Call and talk to Jason and tell him what you think here. 901-3000-866.
Tom Leykis, the internet's most listened to call-in show. 901-3000-TOM. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. At the New Normal Studios in Burbank, that's where we be, and that's where you be, listening to us at 901-3000-TOM. All right, you've heard what Jason has to say here. We are saying no wives, no girlfriends, no baby mamas. Jason has 2 out of 3, plus he has a kid. Plus he's taking care of her other kid. Oh, my God, what do you think about all this?
Poopy.
Oh, this is your chance to say so. 901-3000-TOM. Maybe you agree with Jason. Maybe you'd like to encourage him. Whether you agree or disagree, call right now and tell Jason what you think. 901-3000-866.
Get the Tom Leykis app. It's absolutely free, but worth a million blowjobs. 901-3000-TOM. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From the New Normal newsroom, it's news for guys. I'm Gary. It's Dino.
Yes.
Sad news out of the UK. Teens now more likely to be hacking into computers than smoking or having sex. It's just a sad, sad day.
Well, they're buried in the digital world, and they don't want to have any part of smoking or sexing.
What the hell are they doing?
I don't know, but I think it's a mistake, and I think it's a product of, like, how a lot of them are coming up, and they see as sex as dangerous, smoking is dangerous.
Yeah.
So go ahead and hack it up.
Yeah. Teacher admitting to having sex with her teen foster son in Oklahoma.
Man.
The two of them went on this is, foster parents here. two of them went on a vacation to Florida, and apparently they were banging, mother and son.
This is really a bad situation because Stephanie there is a science teacher, and it looks like she, according to this police record, had a little procedure done on her own kid there. Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah, and they were swapping rooms, having sex in each other's rooms, in the bathroom. It really sounds like a fucking party.
What's
but
wilder
it's your
is
mom, essentially. You know?
The Department of Human Services is the organization that dropped the kid in this woman's lap. So this is going to get ugly.
Yeah.
Coming up, if any of this is true, look for lawsuits galore here.
A very scary-looking Phoenix woman is accused of having an ongoing inappropriate relationship with a teenage boy. She's 40. Her name is Brandy Marie Sibol. And she is just freaky looking.
Yeah, it looks like Alice from the Brady Bunch gone buck wild.
Yes. Buck Wild Alice.
And Alice is just not.
Angry Alice, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you just look at this woman, you know she's deviant.
To me, that's what she looks like. I guess, multiple occasions, several felony charges in connection with crimes, sex abuse, sexual misconduct, all with a minor. Brandy is, Crazy Alice is not looking good.
Yep. Maryland man with what they describe as a sex chamber in his van is convicted of propositioning a teen sister pair. These two sisters were out roaming around, 15-year-old girl and her 19-year-old sister, when our friend here, Daniel Dixon, Danny Dick.
Yeah, Danny D.
Yeah.
He stopped his minivan, asked the 15 and 19-year-old girl to just hop in. They were walking near a middle school over there in Silver Spring, Maryland. And that's when he got out of his van, said, hey, let's do this. Let's get some oral sex going. One of the sisters called 911 as the dick man sped off. The other sister recorded the man driving away and captured the license plate number on the video to show police. So what the dick man didn't consider is these two as a tag team effort, but to the police, not to him.
Yeah.
So recording him and gathering information and calling 911, very smart on behalf of the two girls.
How did the dick man have the Mazda minivan set up? Oh, just a full-size mattress in the back, some condoms, and body spray. Throw in the body spray.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little axe if used properly. The minivan is what is considered a roving sex chamber. I understand that, having vehicles in the past myself that are a lot the same. But, this guy was browsing Facebook to pick up girls regardless of their age. He could be seen, according to police, cruising through neighborhoods and then browsing around for underage girls or any girls for that matter. That is what he admitted to in the police questioning.
Right. And finally, adult cam site CamSoda will offer virtual intercourse with real people using sex dolls and VR.
Yeah. Virtual reality is taken off. CamSoda leading the way.
This is another step forward for the porn industry. This is crazy.
It is. These bad boys are Wi-Fi enabled vibrators, and they have male masturbators, all kind of stuff going on. CamSoda is taking sex through the internet to a whole nother level.
All right. There's plenty more at newsforguys.com, and of course you can find our podcast at GaryandDino.com from the New Normal Studios in Burbank. We're back to the Tom Leykis Show right after this.
This is the new normal.